Take the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack Podcast. It is March 19th. I can't believe that we're already more than halfway through March. How are you doing today, Donnie?
Have you seen that TikTok?
Which TikTok? There's many TikToks.
There's like a viral TikTok going around of all of the newscasters talking about how they can't believe it's March already. And it's like 90 newscasters are like, can you believe it? No, it's March. Can you believe it? And just one show after the other. It's very fun.
We all feel like it's going by quickly. No, my TikTok is looking a little different lately probably than yours. I will get into it soon about what I have been just like obsessed over the past couple days. Like just this past week, like my brain is in one place. It's not on video games, so you'll have to excuse me for talking about something else. But before I get into that, let's start off the Sunday morning with some video games. Donnie, how has your week been? What have you been playing?
It's been a good week. I went to a car show yesterday. Hanging out, work, So not. I haven't been playing a lot. I have played a few things. I'm still playing some Kirby.
Okay.
I didn't touch Metroid.
You're not going back anytime soon.
I really want. I want to finish, but I didn't get to it. I didn't find. I know. I know. I didn't want to talk about my penny bank. This is my Switch penny bank, piggy bank.
What?
Piggy bank, savings money. Your monies.
Okay. For your Switch Pro, whatever.
Switch 2, yeah.
Okay, I like it. I like this.
I've started the fund.
Nice.
We are off and running to the races because I believe, Rebecca. I believe most do not anymore.
I started too. How are you doing it? What is your method for putting money into that piggy bank?
Well, the way that I've done it in the last couple of purchases is that every paycheck I take 10 or 20 bucks and just put it in the box.
Okay.
And that's worked out really well. However,
so when you get paid though, you get paid to your bank. How do you physically put physical money into your piggy bank? You just put like a $20 bill in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I was to open up this bank now, hang on a second. I don't mean to flex on anybody, but there's a lot more money in here than just a couple $20 bills now. But it's side tangent. You know what's crazy? Yesterday, I went to a car show and I ordered something, and for change, they gave me a crisp, brand new $2 bill back.
You don't see that every day.
I guess we're putting these back into circulation now. Is that what's going on here?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised because I don't handle cash. I don't use cash. Like I feel like if I started a piggy bank physically, I can't tell you the last time I used cash. I don't even use my credit card.
That's the beauty of it.
And I just do my phone. I do Apple Pay. I do boop.
That's the beauty of it. If you use cash, you forget about it. Because I don't use cash either. I don't handle cash. I don't keep cash.
So how are you getting money in there?
I either get it if I get gas or go to the store or something, I take 10 or 20 bucks out. Or I just swing by the ATM.
Okay.
Like if you go to buy something, you can get cash back.
Yeah, but I don't.
Right. That's the point, is so that you do. And then once it's cash, it's out, then you don't see it in your little balances. You don't ever really, you're not playing with it.
Yeah, okay.
It works for me. I don't know.
So if I get cash back from a store, that gets charged to my credit card?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've never done that before, ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's something people do?
I've never done it with a credit card. It's usually a debit card.
Oh, I don't use my debit card for purchases. You're not supposed to do that. Because
Why?
if you get fraud or scam, or if whatever happens, then it's if your debit card gets hacked, is a lot harder to get the money back from your bank than if it's a credit card, because it's
not
your money that's stolen, not the bank.
I don't know about your bank, but my bank, that happened to me once about 10 years ago, and I had my money back within an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't use the only thing I use my debit card for is if I need to get money out of the ATM.
Okay. Fair. Well, it works for me. However, I did juice the savings fund because, we've been watching The Last of Us on HBO stuff, and it's like all the rage and it's the hype, and the internet is all about The Last of Us now. So Last of Us stuff is up in value, and I sold one of my pieces. Not one of my nice things. Not one of my nice things. Not anything that people are thinking about. My shelf and stuff, everything's here intact. Although, if you'd like to put in a bid, email me. But I sold my Ellie edition for PlayStation 5, the little game that came out last year.
Yeah.
Mine was sealed. I was never intending on playing it. I literally bought it just to put on the shelf. And Rebecca, it's going for stupid money, like stupid money. I was like, that could just be the Switch 2. So I sold it and I put all of that money into the big bank. So I'm off and running.
I feel like your methodology for saving money is very different than mine. I don't sell things like that.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. I like to keep things forever.
Sure. I keep certain things forever, but I'll always let something go if you can make enough off of it. But yeah. Anyway, so my Switch 2
What have you been playing?
Yeah. Playing Kirby. Still playing Kirby. Don't feel the need to talk about it anymore, but I'm still playing it. Okay. And I did play 2 new games this week. One of them is called Geometric Sniper. Have you heard of this game? No.
Nope.
I'm enjoying the chat. The chat's having a lot of fun with our money systems.
Am I alone? Am I the only person that
I think so.
Doesn't use cash?
Maybe not alone, but maybe like in our space. Maybe it's a generational thing.
I think it might be a generational thing. I feel like younger people don't use cash.
I don't use cash either. I do not carry cash on me.
But
but I will get access to cash when I want to.
Okay.
Okay, Geometric Sniper is a black and white video game where you are a sniper and you shoot people. And I thought it was very funny. I thought it might be very funny. It kind of has like a West of Loathing, I think that's what the game was called, like a look to it. Like all the characters have like very comical, faces. And essentially what this game is broken down, and you can get this game for super cheap. I think this was one of those games I bought for like $2. It's like Where's Waldo with a gun. So they give you a mission. They're like, hey, you've got to stop the terrorists from blowing up the city. Here's what they look like. And they give you a picture, these 2 pictures of these comically looking characters. Black and white, like angry grins, evil villain hat.
Big curly mustache.
And then they put you on this pedestal and you were zooming around over the city trying to find this person. Like before a timer goes off. Sometimes there's like antagonists. They'll try to shoot you. So there's like a defense mechanic and stuff. And when I first started playing it, I was like, this is actually like a really cool concept. It's kind of fun. And then it wasn't. And I've played so many worse games. So I want to be clear. I've killed people in video games so much more grotesque ways than this. I've chainsawed people in half. But the scenarios they put you in, for as comic as the game looks, are really real. Like it's too much. They're like, these terrorists are going to blow up the city. And they've got bombs placed all over the place. And I'm like, oh, this is... And then when you shoot them, like the only color you see in the game is like the blood that comes out of them. And all the characters are like kind of charming. It'd be like shooting Animal Crossing villagers or something. Like it's a bit much. So I played a few missions of it.
Picture this. I'm Googling it because I don't.
It's interesting. It is very, very interesting. And yeah, I don't know what to say. Like it was fine. I wasn't like disturbed by it. I just like, I played a few missions of it and I was like, this is, because like you have like radio interceptions, and like it's just
people have like square heads, triangle heads, circle heads.
But like the stories feel, I don't know, just like too real. I wish I had kept a screenshot or something. I could read you one of the missions, but like when you read the missions, I was like, oh, I don't know. You're like peeking in through like people's windows and stuff. like shooting people. I don't know. This is strange vibes. Weird game.
Yeah.
Fun game. Good game. Like, it is a good game. It does what it's doing very well. But for some odd reason, I was thinking that in my head. I was like, I've actually played like sniper games before, and I'm like, with real people where the bullet goes like through their skull and breaks and cracks like Mortal Kombat.
And it's not as bad as this.
And it's not it did not bother me at all. I didn't think twice about it. I was like, that's what you get. And then here I'm shooting these little cartoon character. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this. This feels.
That's what I didn't like about Binding of Isaac.
Feels
Like,
dirty.
it's very cartoony, but I didn't like it. Like, it was it was too much.
John says too close to work stress, maybe, Donnie. And there is this one where you've got to like blow up like drug packages that are like laid around on the ground, or like, oh, there's one that's like, there's like a gathering. It's like a protest, like kind of like a marathon. And there are bombs in the crowd, and you've got to shoot the bombs before the bombs go off. And I was like, this is too much. I don't like this. So, yeah. Sniper Elite says at least you're killing Nazis. In XBS says that. Yeah, like exactly.
Right.
Sniper Elite's like, F these guys. But I don't know. Little cartoon characters just had me shook as I was sitting there staring down the barrel of my gun. But fun game. If anybody's looking for something to do for $2, you can do that over on Switch. Another indie game. This was not cheap. I bought this one because I had seen a review for it on PC, and I was going to get it on PC, but then I saw it was also on Switch. It's the same price. It just came out. It's called The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow.
Okay.
This is a point-and-click adventure game that's got a horror, creepy element to it. Definitely horror. Definitely by the end. It's very like old school. It's like folk horror, Victorian horror. It's got like this blocky pixel look to it. And you do some light puzzling. It's like, it's exactly like those adventure games that people talk about from like the 90s. You combined, you find items, you combine items together to make a solution to give to somebody or advance this discussion further. And you walk around a scene and you click on everything and learn everything you can learn
Is it
about
like
it.
a point and click thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Cool. I like that.
It's got fetch quests and stuff like that, but it gets grotesque towards the end, like especially when they have like their scenes and you see people's like flesh falling off, and it's very like Evil Dead, and it's very good. It's like if you're into a horror game that's not like Resident Evil action horror, like if you want like a creepy like old Hitchcock gothic horror story,
that looks very creepy.
yeah, it lands well. It's very short. I beat it in like 4 hours, 3 hours. It was like 3 hours, 45 minutes. It gets a little long in the tooth at the end. A lot of reading. They're reading a lot of notes and stuff like that. There are, I should have said this earlier, not that I expect anybody's going to play this game. This is a very niche game that only people that are going to be interested in something like this are ever going to play, but it does like flashbacks. And when you do the flashbacks, sometimes the screen are like sepia toned or like purple colored and stuff like that. And it did remind me of like Oxenfree does kind of stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
With the video distortion and, like the fading of character movements and stuff like that. Like there were moments, there's not a lot of them, but there's moments where I was like, this is kind of Oxenfree vibes going on here. It was good. It's a good game. It's fun.
Cool.
That's it. That's all I've been playing.
You've been doing more gaming than I have. I don't even know that I picked up my Switch this week. Maybe just to play a couple things that I normally play. I don't know. But also, if you see me like shifting my posture, I went to the chiropractor for the first time yesterday.
Wow.
I was having like a shoulder issue, and like I've been meaning to make an appointment, and that was what finally like pulled the trigger for me to do it. And so like he told me my posture is really bad, so I feel like now I'm like trying to like push my shoulders back and keep my head up more, and he cracked my neck a whole bunch and it felt really good, but he said like my back was like really tense and tight and stuff, my shoulders, and so I'm like trying to fix that. But yeah, my brain has been in one place for the past couple of days. It has been on Taylor Swift.
I knew it.
Her world tour started 2 nights ago. She started in Glendale, Arizona. And so you guys know I love Taylor Swift. And I am going to her concert in May, the same weekend that Tears of the Kingdom releases, which is going to be a big weekend.
Torn between two loves.
Right. So because it's in May, it's like in 2 months, I'm thinking like, I don't I want to go in with surprises. There's going to be people posting things on like social media and whatnot. So like, I want to try to be surprised. I'm going to try to avoid stuff, but if I see some stuff, it's okay. And so on Friday night, on opening night, my friend, who is also a big Taylor Swift fan, kept messaging me because he lives in Canada and can't see her in concert because she's not touring in Canada at least for the first part of the tour. And so he was watching people's live streams of people who were there on opening night. And he kept messaging me, "Oh my God, this is insane. Holy crap. You're not going to believe this." Like, huge capital letters. "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What? Like, what is it? Like, just tell me." And so finally I caved and I started watching the live stream. People were like live streaming it to TikTok. And I watched the entire concert on TikTok on Friday night. I stayed up till 2 a.m. But I'm obsessed, Donnie. Like, I'm so glad that I did this because I feel like the next morning, even if I hadn't watched it, I would have just like opened up TikTok and seen people's video clips anyway. So I feel like I was kind of watching it live. Like, I was watching it live. It like almost felt like I was there because like all the surprises and stuff and seeing all of her outfit changes. She has
Hang on,
like
I was just about to say
15 outfit
surprises.
changes.
What? I was about to say, why are you so excited? Like, you've heard the music before, right? It's not like new music.
Of course. Haven't you been to a concert before though?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not like
So
I don't think I've ever been
this
like
is her Eras tour. So
I don't think
it's
I've ever been to
not-
a concert and was like, I'm so surprised.
Oh no.
I guess.
There are definitely surprises for this because this is her Eras tour. She's not
Okay.
touring for like, how most artists like they release an album and then they tour for that album mostly, and then they also throw in their biggest hits.
Yep.
That's not what this is. This is her Eras tour, meaning she's playing stuff from all 10 of her albums that she has. Like it's like through the decades pretty much for her. And it's like throwbacks to her older stuff, some newer stuff. Like before Friday, we had no idea besides like her biggest hits what she would be performing, because there have been 4 albums that she has released since the pandemic that she hasn't ever toured for, played like a lot of live concerts for. So that's a lot of stuff that she hasn't played for live audiences. So like we didn't know how much could realistically fit into like a 2-3 hour set. And so that's like kind of what the surprises were. Like, what songs is she going to be? The arrangements, because there were like rumors that she would do like a lot of mashups and stuff like that. Like, which ones is she going to do on the piano? Which ones is she going to do acoustic? She has like 15 different outfit changes that she changes all throughout, like to signify the eras. So there's a lot of surprises to be had. Each show is going to have like 2 exclusive songs that aren't played at any of the other shows. So that's like really cool. I don't know if I'm explaining this well.
No, I think you are. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, I feel like now I'm on the opposite end of the money conversation, like with Cash. I've been to a lot of concerts. I don't think I've ever studied outfits or arrangements that hard. The last time I bought tickets,
follow artists that are like her.
Last time I bought tickets to the Chili Peppers, which I saw in the summertime, I check their websites that just show you the track list that they're playing. So I'll check that a few times just to get an idea of what's going on.
It's a lot bigger.
That's what I'm.
It's a lot different.
I feel like that's what I'm hearing, but I don't quite understand why.
So let me give you some insight into Taylor Swift fans and what it's like. So there is a lot of thought and effort that goes behind what people wear to this concert. Like I was between like 2 or 3 different things to wear, because it is like a gala type event where people are dressed up as like stuff that she would wear during her different eras, references to some of her song lyrics. Like on opening night, I was looking at some picture, like a guy was dressed up as a willow tree because of like one of her songs is called Willow. Some people were dressing up as her look from the album Red.
Okay, so I get that fans are going to be fans and they can do that, but why would you plan out your outfit? Like, do they show them off or something?
So yes, historically, and I don't know if they're doing it this time because it's just been 2 nights so far, but her people, meaning like there's her Taylor Nation people, that's like what it's called, go around the stadium and they do things like they upgrade people's seats. They pick her for a meet and greet at the end of the show.
Okay.
Her mom historically walks around and picks
so it's like a contest.
People. It's not a contest.
Kinda.
I mean, you want to get noticed, but that's not why you do it. It's like you're friends with all of the fans. There's a fan project for this tour where everybody's making friendship bracelets because one of her songs says make the friendship bracelets. And so everybody's making friendship bracelets. I have like 20 of them that I've made so far. And at the concert, we all trade them around to other fans.
So now I feel like I have to ask. I'm just going to have fun with this now. I mean, no offense.
She knows all of this.
Oh, I'm just saying, I mean no offense before I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I mean, no offense. How is this different than a cult?
Cat thinks it's cool. A cult.
This sounds very cultish.
It's not a cult.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing, Rebecca.
It's a fandom.
That's what people that are in cults say when you ask them.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's the difference between a cult and a fandom?
I don't know. Maybe a level of, I don't know. Maybe a ferocity. This seems very deep. Very deep.
Okay, a system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. This has nothing to do with religion.
I don't think the term religious in that context, that definition, refers to.
I just looked up the definition of cult.
Right. Now I'm just saying in the use of religion in that, I don't think refers to the religion in like the terms of Christianity or Muslim or that you're thinking of, that you're applying it to. I think it's anytime you worship anything like a religion.
But it's not just worshiping like her.
I said I mean no offense.
Like
I'm just wanted to ask.
I know. Okay, well then maybe it is a cult. Sue me. I don't know. It's very fun.
It's very deep.
Very, very fun.
It's very deep.
It is. And there's a lot of deep cut references. Like there is a TikToker, like the TikTok went viral. He's like a super fan of him doing like a little TikTok dance to one of her new songs. And it went viral and everybody else started copying it. And Taylor saw it and she incorporated that little dance into her choreography for this concert, for the show. And like, that just shows like, I feel like her level of like being connected to her fans. Like, she's like very active on social media, like on TikTok, liking people's like outfits that they're wearing and like commenting back to them and things like that.
Okay.
And it's like, who does that? You know, somebody like her.
Yeah,
like,
not most celebrities. That's true.
Also, I just want to let you know, because I know you have some perspective with like having, you know, run with Super Bowl stuff in your city. Yeah. Let me find this. So you know how the Super Bowl this year was at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona? That's where she performed opening night. Her concert on Friday night had 69,213 people, which is more attendees than the Super Bowl this year, 67,827 people. And she did 2 nights in Glendale, and now she's going to
I definitely think her act is bigger than the Super Bowl. Now, John 32 brings up a point that I want to address. He says, if you look how people reacted to Elvis, the Beatles, or Jackson, this isn't too unusual. I don't think these two things are comparable. I don't think people were making out I don't think people were picking out their outfits a year in advance and having fandom events and planned. They're making materials to have and for Elvis. People just screamed Elvis. There's a difference. That's the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is this seems to be, they're raising the bar a bit. Maybe I just don't understand it. Now, Jess says, wouldn't Disney be a cult? If you've been a member of the Discord, you'll know that I've made that case many times. But
what did you say? Disney?
Disney, yeah. I make fun of Disney people, like the Disney people.
Maybe.
Kevin, it's just Kevin. When I say people, it's Kevin. I make fun of Kevin because Disney World like 4 times a year.
No, but I'm like very like one track mind right now. Like Taylor Swift, like I'm looking up all the pictures, all the references, like to other stuff. She's just like, she is the music industry, Donnie. Like you have no idea. She is the music industry. It is like cosplay. Like it is.
That's what it seems like. It's a bit more than a concert.
Lyrics.
It's a bit more than a concert. Is really ultimately the point I was trying to make.
And it's a great show. Like she doesn't just sing her music. Like she talks and like, you know, shares things and comments on things. And it's like very like you feel like you're with 70,000 other people, but like it feels more personal than that.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I'm just old. I mean, and here's the thing: not only am I just old, when it
There's
comes to
Taylor Swift fans
music,
of every age.
when
My
it comes
mom's
to
from-
music, I'm way older than I even am because I love old music. Old music. I don't listen to new music much. Even the new music that I listen to is old by today's standards. I'd be
This
called
was
a
a
boomer by
concert that
today's standards.
I was in line on Ticketmaster for over 5 hours and didn't get tickets,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been there before. Not for Taylor.
but I eventually got tickets.
Not
so
that into Taylor Swift.
I'm very into Taylor Swift.
So is my daughter.
So I feel like my two things that like I'm going to be hyper fixated on for the next 2 months are Taylor Swift and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
That sounds like a great two things to be excited for.
And they're all going to like come together that same weekend.
That's incredible. What will happen? Will you just like burn into the singularity? Like you just disappear?
Yeah. I don't know.
You just fade into the vibe? What's your Monday
That's
going to be
why
like? It's going to be
I
so
took off from
depressing.
work.
You just why am I even here anymore?
I took off from work on Monday to recover from that weekend. No, I am really relying on reviewing Tears of the Kingdom early, but I realize that there is a chance that I might not get to do that. They might give us a day one code. I might not get picked to review it. There are things that are barriers there. So
I already forgot our password. Somebody
okay, I
brought that up in the
remember it.
chat. Okay. I was like, I don't remember it at all. Imagine
But yeah.
Taylor
and then
Swift
the other
opens
surprise.
the concert with a Tears of the Kingdom song. She looks in, the lights go off. Taylor comes up and she goes, "This one's for Rebecca," and just immediately starts hitting Zelda music.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
But
amazing.
another surprise was because it's her Eras tour. Nobody kind of knew like what would she go in chronological order? Would everything just be mixed together? And so it ends up being that she's like doing all of her songs from one album, then doing not all of the songs, but you know, she's sticking to one album, then going on to the next album, then the next album, but not in order.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So like sets don't change. It's not like suddenly 1996 and then, you know, after 4 songs it's 2005 and it's not like that.
Well,
Because that's what I would think of when you say Eras tour. That's like exactly where my head goes.
So like, let me give you an example. So she will do all the songs that she's going to perform from her album Lover before moving on to all of the songs that she's going to perform from her album Fearless.
Okay.
To all
So
the
they
songs
are
that
in
she's going
blocks.
yes.
Okay. And I
Just not
imagine
in
her,
chronological blocks.
do they change like the stage arrangement and like her outfits and stuff to
Oh,
match
yes.
the time of
Yes,
that
yes.
album came out? Okay.
There's lots of stuff going on. The stage moves, the color of the stage change. All the fans get these like light up bracelets when they walk in that are synced to the concert.
Yeah.
That like change. So like there's like rainbows and like greens and it's really good.
Awesome. I hope you have a great time.
She has a
I love
ton
a
of
good
like
concert.
choreographed dancers and stuff like that and like
Sure.
sets and
I've seen some like
fireworks
stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, you should
I
look
like
at
when
the-
she rocks out. She should do more rock songs.
She has some.
I know.
She does have some.
Even like some of her country songs, I've seen her do it in rock arrangements, and they're awesome.
Mhm.
She
I
should
will
do more of
send
that.
you some of the stuff that people like do for their outfits and costumes just to give you an idea.
I would love, yeah, definitely do that. I've seen her cover some stuff too, and I usually tease my wife. I'm like, she should just sing more of like The Cure, and then maybe I'll listen. 'Cause I've seen her cover some old rock songs. And I'm like, that sounds
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
I'm not anti-Swift.
So, yeah, that's where my mind
I just
is.
don't understand it.
That's okay. And
Yeah.
then once we get the next Tears of the Kingdom trailer, that's where my mind's going to be again.
Awesome.
But yeah. Anything before we jump into this week in Nintendo? Thank you for letting me gush about Taylor Swift.
No, not at all. Let's do it.
All right, so Bayonetta
Just gets
Origins, Syriza and the Lost Demon has released. I remember, Donnie, you said that you played the demo. I did download the
Mhm.
demo. I haven't tried it yet, but it's sitting at a nice 80 on Metacritic, which
Sounds about right.
is a little higher than I thought it was going to be.
It's pretty
I didn't know
good.
that this would land too well for some people, but yeah, that is pretty good for a spinoff.
hmm
Did you play any more?
No, I mean, I played through the demo, so I can't play anymore.
Oh.
The demo's like,
Okay.
it just ends. But yeah, I look forward to
It's a good
playing it
game.
when I can get it on sale.
Okay. That's
Yep.
fair. That is
Just
fair,
waiting
'cause it
on a
is
good
full-
price cut.
full release. I heard from somebody who was streaming it. She said that it was a lot of fun. that it's more chill than I thought.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
she
a little
described it as
slower.
like a chill game.
Yeah.
So that makes me want to try it a little bit more.
And it's not
Or
quite
any-
what I was thinking with like the brothers. It's similar, but it's not quite that far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll try it eventually. So enjoy that for people who are playing it. This was a headline that was kind of circulating Twitter. I don't know if you saw this because I know you're not on Twitter right now, but there were some reports that were coming out that Wii U's are failing. That if
Oh no.
the original report was that if you hadn't used yours for a long time, like if you hadn't turned it on for a long time, it could brick. And so a lot of people
Oof.
were turning on their Wii U's to see what was happening. So that's apparently not true. I follow this guy Oatmeal Dome. He's like this tech expert. He does like a lot of stuff with like data mines and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says that you probably recognize that name. He
Mhm.
says that it has to do with the, sorry if I'm not saying this right. Is it NAND or NAND?
It's NAND.
Say
Yeah.
NAND. The NAND chips from the company, is it Hynix? Sounds like a Zelda.
That I
name.
don't know.
That those chips are dying faster than chips from other manufacturers. So he said that Wii U's have chips from 3 different manufacturers: this Hynix, Samsung, and Toshiba. Whatever you buy, you don't know which one you're buying a chip from unless you open it up and you inspect the physical chip on board and you see what chip, what manufacturer it is, or you can run a homebrew program. Probably easier just to take it apart at that point. So if yours has this Hynix chip, yours is in danger of dying faster than the other ones. And it's starting to happen to some people apparently, which is like,
That sucks.
Wii U's not that old. Yeah, that does suck.
It sounds like a lawsuit.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like
If your stuff just
I-
bricks, like not even like a decade later, I think that's a pretty, like Nintendo will either have to repair that or that'll be a lawsuit.
do you think so?
I do. For all the things that people level class action lawsuits for, like this is actually a good reason to do it. Where
Is
I've
there
always
any
thought the Joy-Con
expectation?
is a little not, but this actually is. If they're having widespread Wii U's being and they're not fixing them, that's absolutely a lawsuit.
Is there any expectation that your console should still be working like years after they stop supporting it? Like, at what point does that stop?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there probably is like a set time frame. I just don't think we're anywhere close to that set time frame at this point. Wii U launched what in 2013?
Like if that were the Wii, would they have an obligation to replace it?
No, probably not now, but like at this time during the Wii, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
I mean, the
kinda
expectation
wanna-
is like the store was still open until like what, this week?
it's open until the 27th.
Okay. So like, yeah, if the store is still open, then support should still be there. And support should still be there, I would imagine, if there are servers open for games. If games are being played, then there is an expectation that the company provide, like that's a system. It's not a
Okay.
controller.
Yeah, that's-
it's not a
that's
wearable
right.
part. Like it's just the system. The system should work. You should be able to turn it on.
I think that's fair. As long as the servers are open, there is that expectation.
Yeah, I think so.
If the servers are closed, I don't know if there's that expectation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at some point it'd be hard to argue that. But I'm just thinking back to like, I know with the NES and the SNES and the 64, they were repairing those things for years. I think after they had already launched other consoles. I don't think like the I want to say assumed, but I guarantee you it's not. It's probably in the fine print. Maybe Nintendo has it in the fine print that they don't have to do anything. That would be smart on their part. But I do believe there's some sort of like basic contract between a customer and a manufacturer that you get some sort of amount of support when you buy a product. I know they've repaired things way outside of their windows in the past. I would imagine that this would fit into that realm, I would think.
Yeah, probably. I want to open mine. Like, do you think it would be hard to open it up and see which chip mine is? Like, do you think that's something I could do?
I don't know. I've never opened mine up. I have modded mine. Mine's modded. So you've got me wondering if I want to go over there and flip mine on. But I'm not going to lie to
You
you.
should run that homebrew program and see what yours is.
If mine just bricked, I'd probably just throw it away. I wouldn't
Really?
I wouldn't fight for it too hard. I don't think so. No. I just don't use it anymore.
How are you going to play Nintendo Land?
It's just Nintendo Land and Wind Waker at this point. Like there are 2 games on it that I still play. Like so very few of them. So many more have either come to Switch or I just don't. Now Jack plays it quite a bit. Jack was playing the Wii U just a few days ago, so I'm sure mine's fine.
What was he playing?
It's a good question. I wasn't down here. He's been playing it a bit lately. Just I think he's got to be doing something Zelda or Pokemon that he can't do on Switch. It might be I think it's Pokemon, and I can think of the game, but I can't. Like I can see the box art, but I can't remember the name of it. It's like one of the Pokemon games from Wii, like Poke Park.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's like one of those. I think he's playing that.
Okay.
So at least I at least know that mine's working at the point. But if mine just bricked, I'd be like, okay, it's finally time to lay this thing to rest.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This is somewhat related. I just wanted to throw this in here. I don't know if you've heard of the YouTuber Gerard the Completionist.
He was, I think so. Wasn't he like in the Mario Maker competition? Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did
Yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah. So in light of the eShop closing this month,
Sure.
he bought every single Wii U and 3DS title from their eShops.
Why?
Because he's the completionist, Donnie.
Of course.
That's
Of
who
course.
he
Yeah,
is.
Don't donate to charity or anything.
Also, so if you watch the video, part of it is to demonstrate how tough game preservation really is without piracy, because of how long it took him, to get these titles. Some of them were disappearing faster than he could buy them. So in total on Wii U, it cost him $9,673. On 3DS, It cost him $13,118.
I feel like that's less than I would have thought. But
about $24,000 for every single title.
That's so much money to spend to make that point that didn't need to be made. We know that already. We can prove that with much older games than that, but good on him. I'm sure, people watch the video. Just $24,000 could be spent so many better ways. Like it's hard. It's hard for me not to say anything negative about it. Like when you just read that to me. I'm sure it's a great video, but like when I just hear it, it's like I spent $24,000 to make sure that I have affordable space.
It is a money flex.
It's like, come on, dude. Come on, man.
Definitely. Kelsey Lewin, I don't know if you know her. She is one of the Game History Foundation founders. She owns the Pink Gorilla Retro Stores. She has a good thread out about how when these eShops close, there's no reasonable path to legally accessing enormous swaths of video game history, even within libraries and archives, because the ESA wants it that way. The ESA's arguments are that right holders can and will capitalize on their old games, and if we let libraries provide remote access to video games, people might have fun instead of doing research.
What?
She says that argument A is easily dismantled by the sheer fact that nobody is doing even a passable job at capitalizing on their old games. And obviously, argument
I don't know
B
if I believe
is
that.
ridiculous because libraries can be for education and entertainment. I mean, books can be for fun, obviously. So she's really working on this effort for, wanting to archive games.
I don't agree with.
Obviously, piracy is easier, but that shouldn't be the only solution.
I don't agree with. I've said this before. Maybe you and I will disagree on this a bit, but I don't agree with her in most cases, or at least I don't agree with like this recent movement that every video game has a right to be preserved. I don't agree with that platform. That statement. I feel like most people do. That's like was a very Twitter thing that I always kind of would run up against, and you'd see stories like this would pop up every now and again. Just because a video game was made doesn't make it history. Not every game needs, like mobile's filled with games that I don't think anybody cares about preserving. Nobody's talking about how they need to preserve the games that came out on the Zune or the iOS, 1.0. It seems to be a very specific console thing because we gamers that play our consoles do have an affinity and attachment for these things. But that doesn't mean every game needs to be preserved. There's 1,000 games on Switch that I don't think anybody cares about preserving. I think what we want, I think more accurately stated, is the games that we love, we want to preserve and we want to have access to them. I think piracy is a fine avenue for that. And I agree that it's the right holder. The right holders,
but there shouldn't be. That shouldn't be.
The right holders made that product. It's theirs. If they want to take it away, it's theirs to take away. I would feel the exact same way if an artist did the same thing with a song. It's not ours to demand.
What if an author wanted to wipe the book off the face of the earth?
I mean, obviously, it'd be harder to do that because of the physical nature of it. But I mean, at the same time, if somebody,
what about for
yeah, if somebody wrote an audiobook and they just wanted to unpublish it, yeah, sure, it's theirs. It's theirs to do so. It's not ours to demand from them. They own it. We don't own it.
To me, I feel like it's art, and there is an importance to preserve that. I don't know.
I think there's an importance to preserve the things that are notable. There is a history to video games, but I mean, I just want to pull up. I'm sure I can find a game on Switch that isn't history.
What's notable to you might not be there might be.
Of course, and therein lies the argument that's why I say I don't think anybody, when they say I support video game preservation and every video game is to be preserved, I would challenge them because I don't think they mean every video game.
Okay, but
I think they mean like their video games.
As many as possible, because like I said, you don't know what's notable to other people. And I feel like, aren't you bothered by the fact that there's no way, there's not going to be any legal way to access Wind Waker HD, and that's up to Nintendo to, what if they never decide to release it ever?
Do I like it?
That's a very real possibility.
Do I like it? No. Am I okay with, do I believe and that's their right to do so? Yeah, absolutely. I don't like it, but I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, that's just the business. That's the way it goes. I don't feel like they don't owe it to me. I don't have a right to demand that they release Wind Waker on Switch. I'll keep asking for it. I'll keep demanding it, but it's not, I can't tell them what to do.
Okay.
Right? You disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find just one of like the many dumb games that are on Nintendo.
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Yo, there's a ton of them. Every time you open up the eShop and you look at like the deals page, there's all kinds of stuff. There are literally thousands of games that I don't think are being counted or factored into this conversation. It's just a point that I always bring up. All right, like comic coloring book, the complete edition. We got to keep that forever. Like we got to make sure that it's always available. Comic coloring book,
Nintendo Switch history that game was released on the Nintendo Switch on whatever date, and
that's where I usually disagree with. I don't think there's a right to provide an avenue to play every game that's ever been published.
To me, it can be educational and informational to know like that. Here's what all the games were, and I don't know.
And for me, I believe that if there's a demand, that demand usually gets met. And I think I can make a countless amount of cases where that's true. It's not like they take it away and you've never been able to play it again. They've re-released. They updated Wind Waker. It's a part of it. And like it wasn't on Wii U. It came to GameCube and then they brought it to there. They've done it for several other games, Link's Awakening and so many remasters. We have Final Fantasy VII. We're seeing it this week with Resident Evil 4. We see it with Nintendo Switch Online. They monetize it. I think the things that really need to be preserved, I think are being preserved fine. I don't think there's like how many games are lost to ever that we would truly like care about?
There's many games that I have played within the past couple of years through piracy because they were not made available to me any way that I was able to. I played Zelda 4 Swords, the anniversary edition. I had to pirate that because there's no way to get it anymore.
Right. That was
that game. Marvel Madness I played. I love that game. I would never have experienced that if I hadn't pirated it. Because it's not available.
It's not available for purchase.
Or anywhere through any legal means.
Okay. I mean, with the 4 Swords, it was like an anniversary release, though. It was meant to be a special promotion. So that one I don't understand.
That doesn't mean I agree with that.
No, I'm not saying. I
think that they should have taken Mario. What was that? Mario 35. They should never have taken that down. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, I yeah, I mean, it's up to Nintendo if they want to do that. I don't see. This is where customers sometimes, I think, personally, I think in this conversation, I think customers get a little too demanding. They feel like they have a little bit too much say in the matter, and you're just a customer. You don't have to be a customer. Like, it's choice. But I don't think it's right to demand to have like an expectation that you shall provide all access to every video game I've ever
They don't have, but
purchased.
that's the thing. They don't have to provide it if it's preserved historically somewhere to
And I think a
access.
lot of games, we have that preservation. You can buy old NESs and you can buy old cartridges, and you can, there is still physical media. It's not going away. You still can have access to those. You know, there's some of these things you just like, especially as we move forward in a new digital world, there are games that are built around online functionality. You just can't. It's impossible. The game was designed to be played on servers. You can't just leave servers up forever with the eye of it has to be preserved.
I think that's straying away from what we were talking about.
I mean, I just think there's a lot of factors to this conversation, but ultimately, yeah, that's the point I've always come down to. Ultimately, I think my topic is, I just don't think food truck tycoons has a right to be preserved.
So
that's
you don't think
kind of
so?
where,
Somebody might.
and I don't think just because somebody thinks it that it should either. That's the other point.
Okay.
Just because somebody
That's
says
fine.
it should doesn't. I don't think so. Because the ultimately, you know, who needs
I
to
do.
think it should? Nintendo, or PlayStation, or Ubisoft, or EA. They make the games, so it's really up for them. And then there's another reason why I do pirate things and support piracy and do those things. There's a reason we do crimes.
Yeah,
Just to-
I do too.
to get
I'm
those
not saying
fixes.
don't do it. I, in fact, advocate for it, but I don't think that should be the only option.
Okay.
I like what John 32 said, that after, you know, like music and movies and things like that, like after a certain amount of years, it becomes public. I think it's like 100 years for most IPs that it becomes public domain.
Yeah, there is public domain for those sorts of things. It would be interesting. I think you can re-up though, right? You can keep trademarks and keep them forward, so you don't have to release them to the public. Not that
I
that
don't
really
think
matters
so,
here.
because I know that Winnie the Pooh just got into public domain, and Disney.
It would be
would
interesting to
love
think
do
about that in the case of software. I don't know how that works.
Anyway, Gerard the Completionist is insane.
Fun conversation.
But we love him.
Yep.
Fun video if you want to watch it. It's on YouTube. Moving on, they announced the next Splatoon 3 Splatfest. I know you're excited about this game, Donnie.
I didn't even know they did this well.
They want to know, which cryptid do you think is real? So you can choose between the teams Nessie, Aliens, or Bigfoot. Which team would you join?
I mean, I think aliens are real. So that's the one I would choose. I like how they fashioned the question that way. I'm like, oh, there's definitely one real thing
Which
out
one
of
do you
these
think
three.
is real?
Right. Not like which one would you choose? Right.
Only
Like, if I
one
just
of
wanted
them
to
is
choose,
real.
I would choose like Nessie. I'd be like, Team Nessie. That sounds awesome. But that's not the question. The question is, which one's real? I'm like, there's definitely aliens.
You believe.
I don't know where they are, but there's definitely aliens somewhere for sure.
I agree with that answer. There's definitely life out there somewhere, as far as, you know, because they made the picture, like, you know, the alien that you see in the movie with the round head and the big eyes and stuff. I'm not picking that team, but I might, because all my friends are, so I'm probably gonna.
Oh, is that the popular pick?
Yeah, I believe it is. I think aliens is like the real answer. I think Nessie is the cool answer.
I would have picked
that
Nessie.
was my
like,
first bet. I'm like,
if it was
Nessie,
just like,
yeah, Nessie's awesome.
if it was just like pick one of the three, I'd be Nessie.
Yeah, just because it's the coolest. And then Bigfoot is the stupid answer.
My wife is
Sorry
so
to anyone
enamored.
on Team Bigfoot.
My wife is so enamored with Bigfoot.
What?
She took our kids to a Bigfoot museum.
What?
She wanted to watch like a Bigfoot documentary. Like, she's just like, this is like a weird rabbit hole she goes down to. She's into Bigfoot. She wants to know. Like, she's into I call it a myth. I'm not sure if she actually thinks it's real, but I question if she thinks it's real or not. She might.
Interesting. I feel like
she's
of
into
all
it.
of like the creatures, like Bigfoot is like the most boring one.
Oh, I refuse to partake in it or believe it. I'm like, I'm not going to venture into this mental illness with you. You can have it. I'm going to let you have it, let you have your fun, but I'm not going there with you.
What do your kids think?
They said the museum was extremely boring. This is boring. You know, like as a kid in this day, right? The bar for entertaining is so much higher than it was for when we were kids. You know, like they're like, this is boring. You know.
So if you are interested in the Splatfest, it does take place the first weekend of April. So it starts the evening of Friday, March 31st. It goes until the evening of Sunday, April 2nd. The week leading up to it, you can pick a team, earn conch shells. I want to convince at least a couple of my friends to pick Nessie, but I'm probably going to end up going aliens.
Bummer. If I was playing, I'd be there with you. We could do it together.
Thank you. Thank you. They also added 4 more classic games to Nintendo Switch Online. So that's a base membership. You don't need the expansion pack. They added Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. They added Burger Time Deluxe, which is an arcade platformer for the Game Boy. And then for the first time since July of last year, they added SNES and NES games. They added Side Pocket, which is a billiards, like a pool simulation game, and Xevious. It's a side-scrolling shooter, or vertical side-scrolling shooter.
Cool.
Have any interest in these?
No. I was thinking of Kirby, it made me think last week, and you were like, isn't Return to Dreamland Deluxe like a remake of a remake? And it got me thinking after the show. There are so many. It's like Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Kirby's Dreamland 2, Kirby's Nightmare. There's like 1,000 of these titles that are all the same. It's very hard to keep them separately, but no, probably not. No.
I'm like slightly interested in Side Pocket just because I'm kind of into billiards. Like it's
That's
fun.
cool.
And there's multiplayer. So there's single player and there's multiplayer, so you can play with a friend.
I dated a girl once who was crazy good at pool, man. She would just go to the pool and she would clean up like $200-$300 on a Friday night, man. She would just, oh man, she was a monster. That's a fun. I suck at
We played
pool.
for fun in college because there was a pool table in our building, so we played like, weekend nights and whatever. So maybe I'll check that out next time I boot up that app. We'll see.
Cool. Tune in next week as Rebecca tells you, gives you her review of Side Pocket from the Super Nintendo.
I've never played a billiards video game before.
Oh, that's interesting. I definitely have. They're always, it's not all that different than like Kirby Dream Course. It's a lot of, like grid based. You point the reticle at a ball, you hit it, and you like try to mess with the motion physics of the balls on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. I've personally never really liked them, but I liked games like that. I've played bowling video games that I thought were really fun, or pinball stuff. Like they're very similar.
Okay. Cool. It was a pretty quiet week this week.
Yeah.
So that's
it
it
has
for the
been.
news. So yeah, that's okay. We're going to move on to chat questions directly from you to close out the show.
It might be until Advance Wars. But let's see. We got Kyle the Pug. Question for the show. If Doug Bowser gave you the keys to be president of Nintendo for one day, and he gave you the opportunity as president to port one game to the Switch permanently, what game would you select?
To port one game, so the game has to already exist?
Yeah, you can't make your Dungeon Maker.
Are you picking Wind Waker?
I think that's what everybody will think that I would pick, and it probably would, but this is a high honor that Kyle has bestowed upon us. We could pick any game. Like now I want to what's the mythical game? Like what's that game that never I expect Wind Waker will show up again somewhere one day. I don't necessarily think I need to use this power to make that a reality. I would like to use this power to do more, to reach further into the, into the ether.
I'll do that too. I'm going to do Mother 3.
That's what I was thinking. But is there another game like Mother 3 that people are all wanting that never happened? That I just don't know? I can't remember.
That's the big one.
Yeah, that is the big one.
But it would have to be translated. It would have to be translated to English. I don't think people are going to play it if it's not. So is that allowed? Is that allowed in this rule?
Yeah, I think so. I think that falls into porting. I was also going to ask, does remastering fall into porting?
I guess so.
I'm trying to think, is there any... I don't really think there is. Galaxy 2 should have been over there. It's a shame they didn't bring that in there. You might want to make them do that. All right, guys, how about we finish this collection that you kind of started? There's got to be something on GameCube that hasn't come over yet. Somebody in chat help me out.
GameCube. Melee, Double Dash. Resident Evil 4. We can port the new Resident Evil 4. Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door would be a good choice.
That is an excellent choice, actually. I would do that before Mother 3.
That would get people really excited.
I would do that before Mother 3.
Yeah.
Trying to think. There's got to be. What's the other one?
I feel like Mother 3 would be a bigger deal, but Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door would be a more popular choice.
Donkey Konga. That's good. I don't think they can do Eternal Darkness, Edgardo. Like, isn't there something weird with that IP? They tried to start that.
You have the
power to just get through that.
Okay, magic. Yeah,
that's fair. I'm looking at the most rare Nintendo games. These are something. Yeah. How about Peekaboo Poker?
No,
which are complete copies are selling for $1,600. Yeah, I don't know any of these games. These are just oblivious. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thousand-Year Door. We're gonna remaster a Thousand-Year Door.
That's a good choice.
And give it the Metroid Prime treatment. And finally bring that game forward. Nintendo World Championship. The port. But yeah, Mother 3 was where I went to. I immediately went there. All Zelda games come forward eventually. So I'm happy to keep waiting. Oh, it's me. Doing questions. I still get into that mindset where I'll look at you and I'm like waiting because Dev always does questions. I'm still not quite there yet. I gotta remind myself I'm doing the questions. Brendan, what is a game you played on a Nintendo console and highly recommend but never completed? That's so many.
Highly recommend. Yeah, I don't finish half.
Paper Mario on Switch. What was that Paper Mario game?
Origami King.
That game was beautiful, absolutely stunningly gorgeous, and I just didn't finish. It just got long in the tooth.
I don't finish a lot of games,
but super fun, gorgeous. So there's 1,000 of them 3DS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I'm opening up my list here.
But I did Luigi's Mansion, beat all the Fire Emblems, Astral Chain.
Let me see, what did I shelf? I didn't finish Grim Fandango yet.
I never liked
that game's so much fun. I'm going to say that just because it's the first one I saw here. Grim Fandango.
Cool. Yeah. Alice says, do you think there's any more big Tears of the Kingdom gameplay reveals like vehicle crafting? People really want to see this vehicle crafting thing, huh? Like that's really got people's attention.
I think
there are third or fourth question somebody's asked us about vehicle crafting. I think
there is. I think that mechanic where they showed it in that one trailer where he's like kind of going up and like through the cliffside thing. I think that is a mechanic that we just don't know enough about yet.
Yeah. There will definitely be gameplay reveals before launch, for sure. Yeah. We'll do something. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Oh, by the way, they're not. I sent this on the Shack Discord. It's not. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is not going to be at PAX East.
No PAX.
I was wrong. Yeah.
You made a good case, though. You won me over.
I did I know. I was very proud of my prediction.
Yeah, made a good argument. I'm just trying to go back to what they've done before, which is never necessarily the case of what they're going to do going forward. But with Breath of the Wild, they had like their plateau demo. They had like a very controlled demo and they let all the writers play it and write about it. And I'm expecting that's what we're going to get again. They'll have like a very controlled, 2 to 5 hour hands-on. I expect sometime within the month. Got to get that out before the end of April, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking that would happen at PAX.
Right.
Even if
I'm with you.
Just had it for media.
And they may do it at PAX and just not tell anybody about it. There might be a closed door something.
Media. Oh, man,
like a few days beforehand or something.
Well, they do. They have a media hour at PAX on Thursday.
And then they're just embargoed until like the week after. But I would imagine before the end of April, we'll get some sizable content to chew over. And it'll still give us all more questions than answers, and that's the point. Like that, I think that's the key with the marketing for both of these games, to give them more questions than answers, to fuel us to go find out. So I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. But like the vehicle crafting, I think the vehicles are cool, but I'm not necessarily like excited about the crafting parts, like finding blueprints and stuff. I'm like, okay, I just want the car.
I think the vehicle crafting will be like you can make vehicles and like the flying thing and the boat or whatever, but like I think you'll also be able to use those parts for other things too.
Yeah. And hopefully it just adds more to like the collecting and scavenging part of that game. I always thought that there was more meat on that bone, so it'll be exciting if they can pull that off. Drew asks, what's your favorite game soundtrack?
I know mine. It's a tie between Chrono Trigger and Undertale.
Wow. Similar. I don't know mine. I really love the music in The Last of Us. I think the All Gone theme is I've told my wife forever, I don't make sure it's played at my funeral. To this day, it still brings me to tears. Just that, I don't know what it is, a cello or violin or whatever. Just that sound alone will make my eyes water. I really love the music in Wind Waker. I think it's a big reason why I've been such a fan for it for so long. The Dragon Roost. It's so
happy.
Like happy, yeah, hopeful and optimistic. It's such a like a bouncier soundtrack. It's really nice. It's really fun to play. I always shout out One for Dev because I don't really like the game, make a lot of fun of them about it. The soundtrack to Destiny is fucking amazing. Is it? I've never heard it. It's so good. I listen to it while I work, and you know I'm right because I make fun of Destiny all the time. 2, I'm right because I don't even play Destiny, and I totally listen to the soundtrack. It is so good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's very good. John 32 asks, which Nintendo IP would work best, or would you want to bring to next gen VR? So Nintendo's doing a VR something, or they're going to put a game on Quest or something. What Nintendo game do you want to put in VR?
None.
None?
I don't like VR.
Okay, but that's not necessarily the question. You don't have to play it. Star Fox makes a lot of sense in VR.
I was just going to say Star Fox.
Yeah, you're in the cockpit, cool. You're shooting. Yeah, I mean, that's an easy one. F-Zero, I think, makes a lot of sense for VR.
Oh, God, I can just imagine myself throwing up while playing F-Zero in VR.
Just that roller coaster, neon lights and all that. Donkey Konga? You can do that in VR. Pokemon Snap? It's good.
Fun.
Dude, fun. Yeah. I've made this analogy over the years. And since we're talking to Wii U, it's on my mind, so I'm going to bring it up again. The Wii U was so close to VR, and nobody realizes it. Yeah. Or I feel like nobody realizes it. I've been saying forever, like VR is like Wii U that you strap to your face. It's just motion controls and like a video. But like the thing about the Wii U was that the video extended beyond your TV screen, right? It went beyond the bezels of your display. You could look around and move the screen around and see stuff that you couldn't see out of your particular VR. Like that is VR. Like that is exactly what VR is. Mm-hmm. You just not strapping it to your face. Yeah. So that's all you see.
And I would prefer that. I don't want it.
But technically speak, and then it was a really cool. I always was the Nintendo Land where you had that dumb little game where like you were on the boat and they were shooting arrows at you and you had to like block it and shoot it, but like you had to turn and look over to the left and turn and look over to the right. Yeah. That's where that really like connected.
And there was like a whole 360 like scope of motion.
Yeah. I was always like, this is VR-ish. It's like a bridge. It's a bridge there. And that system alone makes me wonder if they'll ever dabble in that arena again. Because it's clear that they're working on games that share some DNA. Like there's something there. Maybe they've just scrapped it all since the Wii U days, but it's amazing how close they were to VR.
Maybe they'll build on it with the Switch.
Like had they totally could have come out with a headset that connected to your Wii U and had software for that. it was all there. They had the Wiimotes and everything. Like, it's right there. And then you did see that they came back with Labo and they had a little cardboard thing. Like, it's in there. In their building somewhere, somebody is thinking about VR stuff because it's undeniable. It's been there. They've been doing this stuff for a while now. So
Hey, what about
it's interesting.
Pikmin, because then you're really little in this big
Dude,
world.
Pikmin
of, like,
in VR sounds terrifying.
It does. Yeah, you're like a flower is giant and like.
God, that sounds scary.
But doesn't
These
that
huge
sound like
monsters.
that could work?
Yeah, it does. I wonder how big Pikmin would appear to you if you were the size of Captain Olimar. Like, you imagine you put on your thing and you're looking at Pikmin and it's like, it's like you're just looking at like just a slightly smaller person that's a little Pikmin.
Yeah.
Oof. It's like kind of like Grounded. Grounded does that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. G-Man, what's your favorite rain activity? Don't say playing video games.
Man, that was what I was gonna say.
I have one.
Watching movies and TV shows.
Rebecca's like entertainment via screen.
Sleeping's a good answer. Chat saying.
My favorite thing that I like doing in the rain, sleep is good. My wife hates this about me. I love going out into my hot tub when it's raining.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have like a little
lightning.
I have a little canopy that we have over the hot tub that keeps like the pollen and bugs and stuff out and leaves. And I love just sitting out there, maybe like a drink, like listening to the rain.
That's cool.
Sprinkled down onto the thing while I'm sitting in the hot tub relaxing. It's a big thing for me. I almost get excited when I see rain coming. I'm like, oh, I'm in a hot tub.
Good.
So, West 3DP says, any advice in picking up a collector's edition for Tears of the Kingdom when they're back in stock? My answer to him was don't.
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 You gotta follow Wario64, turn on notifications, and always have your phone turned on. That is the only advice that I can give.
That's good advice. I also just don't think that collector's edition is that great. You just buy the game.
Okay, but that's not for you to decide for him.
Yes, and that was my answer. Did I see something? There was My Nintendo News said something like in Japan they're getting forks. Did you see that?
So it's not the collector's edition. It's the pre-order for the copy of the game. They're getting a fork and spoon that says The Legend of Zelda on it.
Why? I'm not gonna lie.
Japan do anything.
I'd rather have the fork and the spoon than the art book. I would rather have the fork and the spoon. Like, if given the option between the two, I'd rather have the fork and the spoon. But I don't understand why they're giving us forks and spoons.
Can you put this comment up on the screen? Zelda fans are eating.
I saw a picture of that and I was like, what? I didn't even read it. Like, that's how unbelievable. I was like, they're making spoons?
Donnie, it doesn't even say Tears of the Kingdom. It just says The Legend of Zelda.
That thing is going to be worth $7,000 in 8 years. Like, you're going to need a Zelda fork. That thing is going to go through the roof. There'll be these perfectly great people that have Zelda forks one day. They're going to have little display cases and be like a never used Legend of Zelda fork. Wow. Kate writes in, what's your favorite special edition console ever or current or both?
The only one that I've got that I really like is the Animal Crossing Switch. I think that's the only special edition I've ever bought. I like a lot of the Zelda 3DS models.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my answer. The Majora's Mask 3DS XL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm still pained to this day that I got rid of mine. They're beyond like unaffordable now. They're like $700.
You just don't. That's why you don't sell your things.
I'm really happy that I got the 3DS Slim. I wouldn't need both. I'd rather have the one faceplates, which is why I got it. But there are days where I'm like, man, that system was beautiful. It was just gorgeous. So, Yarden Donnie's definitely Tears OLED. No.
Ha!
I really liked the Pikachu 64. I always thought that was rad.
That's cool. That was a cool one.
There's got to be better ones. The Metroid 3DS, I liked a lot.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I never owned it, but I liked it a lot. I would have owned it.
Well, I like the Galaxy 3DS. I don't know why. I
Do
have like,
you?
a really soft spot in my heart for that. Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't know.
I'm just
I like
interested.
It. I like Galaxy. It's
I
very
make fun of it a
cool. I
lot.
like
That's the only
space.
reason. The reason
I like it. I think we
okay.
fought about this before.
No. Xbox released a purple controller that was like Galaxy theme, and I did that same thing. I was like, see, like the reason I make fun of it is it wasn't like Mario Galaxy or theme for a game or anything. It literally was just like the Milky Way on the 3DS. I was like, what? I just didn't understand it very much. I don't hate it. I just think it's funny. It's weird. Not funny really. It's just weird. It's kind of odd.
I like it.
I like it too. I mean, I would never buy it, but I mean, I don't hate that it exists. But I always thought it was a little strange. I never
That's
forget
like your opinion.
when they came out with it. I was like, "What? Why?
I like it.
We're just
It's
slapping
cool.
like internet
Oh, the
wallpapers on
3DS.
systems now."
The 3DS with the Triforce on it.
Oh, the black and
Like
gold, like the link between worlds one with the gold and the black.
No.
Hmm.
The Hylian crest. I'm sorry.
The shield.
No. Okay. Type in new Nintendo 3DS Hyrule Edition.
Alien.
Hyrule Edition.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I have seen that one.
Yeah.
I think the other Zelda ones are better. You like that one?
I like. If I had to pick all the Zelda ones, I would pick that one. Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Cool. I had the Hylian shield one, the 2DS XL. That had like the raised shield and
That's like
the
my
armor and
least
stuff.
favorite of the Zelda ones.
I had that one, and I had the Majora one.
Yeah, the Majora one's really cool.
There were some really good ones back in the day. I miss that about the 3DS. It seemed like every 6 months they were coming out with a new one. There were so many of them. They had to have like 50 special edition 3DSs.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem got like 5 different designs. There was a Yoshi one, there was a Metroid one. Like everybody got one. It was awesome. We could use more of that. Ghost Days 99 says, What do you think is something that would be a poor choice to include in a Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition?
A fork and spoon.
Is that why that's here? I didn't even know
Maybe.
that. I would say, what are they giving? A pin set? Pins do nothing for me.
I only like pins if they're enamel. I don't like those like little plasticky ones.
Yeah. No, that makes
They're
sense.
very
And the
cheap.
enamel is nice. And I know that there's pin collectors. Caroline used to collect pins. So I know there are people that into it. I don't. They just do very little for me. Like I want a statue or something. I want the Master Sword or do stuff. Pens.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom socks would be a poor choice.
Yeah. That's kind of how, like, when I think pins, I think of like keychains and stuff, like little trinkets. And I don't want trinkets. And give me a shield. Give me something awesome. Socks would also be poor. That would be a poor choice.
The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom temporary tattoos would be a poor choice.
50% off tickets to the Mario movie for every Tears of the Kingdom collector's edition. And then closing our show this week, Smoke and Joe writes your top 3 3DS games.
Oh, you have many more choices than I do.
My top 3 come to mind almost instantly. Yeah.
Okay, you go first.
Fire Emblem Awakening, Mario Golf World Tour, and Ocarina of Time 3D.
Okay. I was waiting for you to name a Zelda game.
Fire Emblem Awakening is amazing.
I mostly played my 3DS. It was a Zelda and Pokemon machine.
That's good machine.
So I feel like my top ones that I've played are not ones that I would recommend or say are the best 3DS games. Like my most hours on my 3DS was in Pokemon X. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a top 3DS game. Link Between Worlds.
Very good.
I want to package together Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask just because I can't pick. I know a lot of people don't like Majora's Mask on 3DS, but I do. And I don't know if I have a third, because remember, I feel like this is my, I feel like I'm experiencing the 3DS for the first time because I modded it. And
Okay.
I'm like learning
Now you're
things.
playing a lot of games.
Animal Crossing: A New Leaf.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's where I was wondering where that was going to be.
I don't know why I forgot that existed. I feel like I'm being exposed to games that I never would have tried before. Like, you know, I had only played Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U. I didn't know that there were actually differences on the 3DS version. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try some stuff. I downloaded Fantasy Life. I'm doing the character creator on there. Downloaded Tomodachi Life. People told me that's a lot of fun. Rhythm Heaven I started playing. I really like.
My favorite.
Yeah.
I felt like I was the only person in the world talking about Rhythm Heaven when it came out.
I will have an answer for you, Smoke and Joe, in a couple years.
Samus Returns. Excellent game.
Yeah. Yes, that is a good game.
I owe the 3DS a lot. It was my first handheld, like in so many ways. Like I had handhelds, you know, in between different systems and trades and stuff, but I never like adopted it as a platform truly until 3DS. And it got us through like the Wii U droughts, which was a big part of that, but also the library. I feel like the 3DS I owe for any interest that I have in having anything be portable. I owe to the 3DS. The 3DS was the first system that I had where like it being better than another option wasn't like the criteria. Does that make sense? Like every time I'd bought a console, like a big reason for buying it was because it was better. It was better than what I had, so I had to get it. The 3DS was like the first system I had where I was like, oh no, it's worse. Like this is not as good as a Vita, but the games are way better. You know, like it was always that. Like the 3DS was that for me, where I was totally fine playing games at 360p and stuff, and did not care at all. It wasn't even a part of the process, because I was just stuck hours into Mario Golf and Fire Emblem and Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you know, like just for years. The 3DS was such an excellent console. It's such a great library.
It does. It does have a good library.
When we talked with Colin Moriarty, who infamously like proclaimed the 3DS's death before it ever released, I made a point to get that jab in there too. Like I had to remind him how much better the 3DS was than the Vita, because it was so much better. It had so many great games. And as we move forward with the Switch, I remember when the Switch was launching, I was like, I hope it's a portable. I hope it's a portable. Like before we knew what it was, I was like, I hope it's a portable. I
don't know how I'll ever be able to go back if they ever make it not hybrid anymore.
I kind of feel that way too. Like I'm sure I would adopt a console, but I'm. It's almost like the 3DS was the 3DS changed my outlook on what I expect from Nintendo, and it's like portability almost became a factor. It's like I expect Nintendo to make games available to me in this way, because I adopted them. You know, and they almost like separated. They exist separately from like my console games. You know, it's like I've got the stuff I play on PC and console, and then here's my stuff over here on the side that I play on Nintendo. And the 3DS is a huge reason for that. It was not the Wii U, because I was very critical of the Wii U, even when I had it, even when I loved it and would tell people about it. I was still very critical of the Wii U. But the 3DS, I was like, guys, it felt hard to imagine at the time. It was hard to fathom how you could love video games and not have a 3DS, in my opinion. It's like, what are you doing in life? like you're missing out on all of this content. Like you've got to have a 3DS. Like I had so many 3DSs.
Yeah, I agree.
Excellent little console. I hope you don't have to go spend $18,000, but I hope everybody runs to the eShop and buys whatever you can before it's too late. Or if you're like us, do crimes.
It was easier to mod my 3DS than it was for Gerard to buy all of those games.
It's so easy.
It took less time, less effort.
Rhythm Heaven.
Less money.
You got to get the Fire Emblem games, Rebecca. Dragon Quest games. Listen to me. Okay. get the Sega 3D games. Play Streets of Rage in 3D.
No, I don't have 3D. I have the
Oh,
2D.
you just have the 2D. Oh.
Makes me dizzy.
Oh, Streets of Rage in 3D was awesome. It was so good. There were a lot of good Sega games in 3D. Kirby's Return to Dreamland in 3D was really good. There's so many good like back compatible stuff on 3DS. All the Pokemon games, Virtual Console, all the Super Nintendo games. It's a great little thing just to have in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Ironfall. You ever heard of that?
Nope.
That'll be my sleeper, Shackers. Ironfall is a game that I got as a review back in Shack, like pre-Shack days. It's like Gears of War for 3DS, kinda. You just run around, and it adopted like the new C-Stick. You remember they did a little Novo nub, nub. It used that, or you could use the Circle Pad Pro. But there's not a lot of shooters on 3DS, and that was one. Pretty fun game. Pretty fun little game.
Okay.
You just go around shooting like drones and bots and stuff. But plays like a Gears game plays. I like that game too. I love 3DS. We could do a whole episode on 3DS. Yeah,
we should. After I play games, maybe over the summer.
Very good.
All right, that's going to do it for this week, Koopalings. This is, as a reminder, your last week to buy 3DS and Wii U games from the eShop, or you could, not
Violate.
Find other ways to acquire them. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but it is the last week if you do have any desire to.
If you just got $14,000 laying around.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, take out a loan.
Go do that
to buy them. Why not?
Sure.
All right. We will see you next week, Koopalings. Have a great start to your week.
Bye. Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?